Now we are going to start with the physical properties of sulfuric acid, right? So if we talk about its color, so the sulfuric acid color is almost colorless, right? So sulfuric acid is colorless. And when we talk about its odor, so it is colorless as well as it is odorless. But when we talk of taste, so we know that the acids are actually sour in taste. So sulfuric acid is also an acid, so obviously it is going to be sour in taste. And when we talk about the solubility, so the sulfuric acid is soluble in water in almost all proportions, right? But you know that when we add acid to water, as we know, sulfuric acid is a strong acid. So when this reaction between the sulfuric acid and water is actually exothermic. So what we do, like if we wish to dilute it, we do not add water to an acid, right? But like instead of it, we add acid to an water. The reason being, see, when you add acid to water, again I'll draw a figure and explain. Suppose you have this container in which you have an acid and we are pouring water, right? So what is, as I told you, that the reaction between acid and water is highly exothermic. So when water and acid are going to react, so that means they will evolve the high amount of heat, and that heat can cause the spattering, right? It can cause the spattering. And you know, like in this case, which out of water and acid, which is going to spatter? Obviously the acid is going to spatter. And you know that acids are corrosive in nature. If they just strike our skin, it gives the burning sensation. So to avoid that, what we do, we take water, right, a given amount of water, and we add acid to it, right, and the acid is added drop wise. Now what is the advantage of adding the acid into water? See, the reaction is still exothermic, but compared to this, the heat release will be less in this case, because we are adding acid to water drop wise, so comparatively the less amount of heat is liberated, right? Moreover, what happens when we add acid to water, so the acid molecules being dense just settle at the bottom. So if in case, so otherwise the spattering will not take place, but if in case the spattering occur, which substance is going to spatter? Obviously the water is going to spatter, so it will not cause the burning sensation and all. So in order to avoid these circumstances, what we do, we dilute it by adding acid to water drop wise with continuous stirring as well. And what is the advantage? The comparatively the amount of heat release is comparatively less, and moreover this acid molecules get wet, and moreover they are dense also, so this just settle at the bottom and there will be no spattering. But if in case the spattering occurs, the water is going to spatter and it will not cause any harm to you, right? So this is the reason why we add acid to water or water to acid. But moreover, when we talk about the solubility, so it is clear that sulfuric acid is soluble in water in all proportions. Now when we talk of conductivity, like whether it conducts electricity or not, so you should know that pure sulfuric acid is actually a bad conductor of electricity, but the dilute one is good conductor of electricity, right? Now when we talk of the nature, that like what kind of nature it possesses, so you should know that it is the strong acid. It is actually regarded as the strong acid. It completely dissociates to produce its hydrogen ion when it is dissolved in water. And when we talk about the psychological nature, I told you that it is corrosive in nature. If it just strikes our skin, it just extracts the water from it and just leaving behind the skin, that is the burning sensation is there. So we say that it is corrosive in nature. And moreover, there is like you can write one more point in nature, like if somebody asks you about nature, so it is there that yes, it is corrosive in nature, it is a strong acid. Apart from that, you know, it is hygroscopic in nature. That means it can absorb the moisture, and due to this reason, as we did in the various topics of the chemistry, that wherever we just wherever we need a drying agent or wherever we need to extract the moisture, what we were using the concentrated sulfuric acid, because the property of hygroscopic make it use as a dehydrating agent, or you can say a drying agent. So these all are the physical properties of the sulfuric acid. So it is colorless, it is odorless, sour taste. Solubility, if we talk about solubility, it is soluble in water, but you need to remember this, that we don't add water to an acid, we add acid to an water. And then Pure sulfuric acid is poor conductor, but dilute one is a good conductor. Nature, as I told you, hygroscopic, that is why it is just used as a drying or a dehydrating agent. And psychological nature, it is not fit for the human skin as it causes the burning sensation, as it is corrosive in nature. So these are the physical properties. Now we are starting with the chemical properties.